Hello? Is it working? I haven't done this in so long, so I'm a little bit everywhere. Hello everyone. My name is Lilybwees. I am your divorced, agoraphobic hagtuber. Welcome, welcome. Today I'm talking about some stuff. Let's see. There's a lot to talk about. About hospital trip, my health in general, my finances and living situation, and plans for the future. So, hospital. First I'm gonna play some music for myself. Is there... Maybe I'll put on Ghost. Yeah, this is good. So first thing, hospital. So I have stones in general. Ever since I've been a teenager, I've had tonsil stones. They suck, they're miserable, and I get tonsillitis when it's at its worst, like multiple times a month. I just need to get that ripped out when I have insurance. I have kidney stones, which are excruciatingly painful, and what I thought this was. Thankfully I've never had to go to the hospital for a kidney stone, but I've been in situations where I probably should have. But honestly, in those situations, I'm just happy it's not appendicitis, which would be a hospital trip. And so, and I know those are kidney stones because they cause bleeding. From certain areas when they come out. And then now I might have gallstones. Might is a key word. So I've been in excruciating pain for about the past week, including the worst pain I've ever had in my life about a week ago. I thought it was a really bad kidney stone. I was very resistant on going to the hospital because in the past kidney stones have passed normally. But it was to the point that I wasn't able to keep food or water down for over a 24-hour period. I was in excruciating pain. I was frequently nonverbal. So small dog brought me to the hospital. They ran a bunch of tests. I did not have a kidney stone. They were able to conclusively rule that out. But I might have had gallstones. Might is key, though, because they did a bunch of imaging, and my gallbladder was distended, which is like inflamed and stretched and just in a bad state, which is what you would expect. But there were no stones in it, and they couldn't find any stones around it. But there was still the pain, and the symptoms matched that of a gallstone. So kind of the thought is there's just a stone somewhere in like the bile tract or whatever. And no, it still hurts to this day. I'm still in pain. I'll probably be in pain up till around off-kai. Maybe even during off-kai. So they pumped me, gave me an IV full of fluids, gave me a bunch of pain meds, did a whole bunch of testing, made sure there was no infection or anything, and I was safe to go home. Basically, they didn't see any stones, so they didn't want to do any surgery, just in case. Because gallbladder actually does things. I mean, the appendix does things too, but the gallbladder does like more visible, major, impactful things. So if they don't have to rip that out, they don't want to. Also, kind of leading into everything else, I'm uninsured. Surgery is prohibitively expensive. So, while all this has been happening, as you guys might know, I'm also disabled. I have agoraphobia that keeps me from working in person, and remote work has dried up in the US. So, you know, I've traditionally gotten support from my mom and family, but my mom's currently locked in a legal battle with my brother, of all people. It was negotiations, but she ended up finding a pretty damning piece of something that she had saved that kind of showed that my brother was lying about everything. And so he instantly sued her. So now she has to countersue within like a month with the contingency lawyer because she doesn't have the money to fight a legal battle right now. So that's fun. So my mom doesn't have finances, basically. So yeah. Basically, long story short, I'm behind on rent and I have an incoming huge hospital bill, which I will not be able to pay and will need to figure out some sort of payment plan. And I can't find work that I can like physically do. So things are not great right now. Offkai is something I shouldn't be going to, but we kind of committed to it before everything was happening. And so I'm doing it all on credit, and we're going to worry about it later. Which is not, that's not what you do. That's how you get into holes that you can't get back out of. But yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I can go to the Femnani meet and greet, and maybe even the Mint meet or greet if I manage to line up in time. I don't know if that's physically possible if I'm doing the Femnani meet and greet. I know you guys are figuring out solutions to that stuff. This is not Oshi, this is, you know, this isn't y'all's first rodeo, so. And thankfully, people have, I think, learned not to take Mint's word at how nobody will come as truth anymore and are planning accordingly. Yeah, a Mint will be first come, first serve, first ban in the afternoon. Okay, cool. Yeah. Hi, Bun. So yeah, basically, so my health is, with all that stuff going on, I will probably need gallbladder surgery in the future. As you guys know, my hands and wrists are fucked. And they also found fluid in my lungs, which is not good. Generally, that's a cause for alarm. We're kind of ignoring it. It didn't show up in the CT scan, only the ultrasound, but there's been a long history of stuff in my lungs. So I need to deal with that. And then I have heart issues. So there's basically, and I also need to get my tonsils ripped out. There's a long-standing, not to mention normal doctor and hormone stuff that I have to get dealt with at some point. So I have now a lot of medical debt and a lot of upcoming medical costs. I need to be able to either get on Medicaid, but God knows, it's such a crapshoot. They keep asking to re-verify documents, and I don't know if they'll ever let me do it, because the streaming income, it's not much, but it's weird, so they're confused. And then, yeah. And then upcoming medical costs and stuff. So we're gonna need to be creative. Basically, I need to figure out how to pay rent. Is the most pressing situation. Because I'm behind on that. I'm okay. I'm not in danger of getting evicted, but I do need to pay that. So that's that's the priority. And then there's a bunch of, yeah. So, in this future, A few things might change. Just to kind of react to all of this. Big one is I need to be taking the streaming more seriously because right now it's the only viable source of income I have. It's not a lot of income, but it is a income that you can reasonably improve, which is nice. You can grow as a streamer. Thank you, Leon. Thank you. It's very much appreciated. So I'm going to be, first off, we need to hit ad revenue. So I'm going to be pushing to 1,000. Because I don't know why, but you guys watch a lot. You guys watch a lot of me. I don't have a lot of you watching, but the ones of you that do watch a whole lot. So there's the amount of ad revenue adds a lot. It's like for longer content, especially, it adds something. So that's a big push. That is a realistic, achievable goal that will make a definite impact. So I'm going to be pushing to that. As part of that, I'm going to be releasing shorts. Algorithm likes shorts. It's not the meta anymore, but it still likes it. I have a notebook filled with shorts ideas. They're basically going to be minute-long rants about various topics. They'll be on brand for my content. I'm not going to be doing any weird clickbait stuff. It's going to be what you guys are used to. Obviously, you don't need to watch them. If you want to, they're not going to be clips or anything. They'll just be entirely original shorts content. So that means I am going to be learning video editing, which is not a bad thing to learn. That's potential income in the future if I get decent at it. So that's a big thing. I was gonna do long-term content with RuneScape and stuff, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little bummed about the state of RuneScape. There's some stuff going on. Do you guys remember Pomucord 1? If you remember Pomucord 1, the CEO of Jogex is pulling a Zan in regards to Pride Month. That is literally what's happening. Basically, Jogex, after a while, and having a very infamously not great community and culture, a lot of the employees and stuff and the player base has kind of pushed for that to improve, and they started doing Pride celebrations and stuff, little Pride events. There were riots every year against it in game, but like it's a little token thing. There are a number of queer creators, so it's one of those things that like is very much appreciated because historically it's been very, very bad. But so they were all ready to implement the new one, and see. Thank you, Glove. Thank you. And they were CEO basically said, no, people are too angry at Pride stuff for being woke this year. We're canceling the Pride event. Like we're canceling all the implementation of all the Pride stuff. And like all the employees are fucking pissed. And then he went, and this is exactly what Zan, we're going to look into alternatives like a direct donation and other things to more meaningfully support Pride and all of that. But yeah, employees are mad at them catering to American conservatism because, yeah, and he's like, we're going to focus on what the player base wants and all of that. And all the work for the event was finished. They could just implement it. And people were like, we're going to volunteer. Thank you, Mindmaster. Thank you. Yeah, it's all fucked. New CEO sucks. Who would have guessed this? We've had a lot of very bad CEOs in JockX history, which sucks because the JockX itself, the developers are great. I think they also did this right after doing a bunch of layoffs and shutting down like community run servers as like a concept, and it's just in a weird place. They're just not doing my favorite event this year because they're putting resources elsewhere, which is understandable, but it's a bummer. You know, they're not doing leagues in OSRS, they're doing leagues in RS3. And there's some conspiracy that they're doing this because they want people to play RS3 because that's where all the loot crates and gacha and stuff are. That's where the money is. And RS3 is declining in popularity because it's not great. We all play OSRS for a reason. We all play the old one because it's before they ruined the game. RS3 is just a super modernized MMO, and that's not what we want. But they're also working on Sail. They're like working on some big projects, so it makes sense that they don't have the resources, but it's just, it sucks. It's just one of those situations where like, it's fine, but I'm not excited about the game. So we're not going to do that, but one thing I was finding with working on this panel and doing the Godot streams is I might start making long-term content about, like, long-form content more educational and hobbyist based. Like I might do like a course of a few videos that are like an introduction to games programming. Using processing, which is how I learned in high school. So, kind of covering, you know, just educational, like, and that's stuff I've taught. Like, I've taught programming to middle schoolers. I've taught programming to college freshmen. I've like TA'd courses. This is like we did a game dev club where we'd have a game jam and you'd have a bunch of people who have never programmed in their life being like, I want to work on programming the game. And so it was like, okay, this person has about 72 hours to program a game and learn programming at the same time. How do I make that possible? Like, and these weren't comp sci students half the time either. You would have art students, or like people like opposite end of the spectrum of like, so like people without a math background, less STEM focused, but like that want to do game programming because that's where a lot of the moving parts are. So it was kind of a, yeah, it was always a fun project. So I'd kind of like just doing introductory processing. Like, I'm not great at programming, but the low level stuff, like the entry stuff, I'm more familiar with. Like the parts that I excel at in programming are weird niche, like setting up CI and testing pipelines and like doing graphics shaders. That's the part that I'm good at with programming. And like, which is why I'm always like a little, and also streaming is a huge mental debuff. So doing live programming is just very, very difficult. Because I'm trying to be entertaining while I do it. And just, they've done studies. Whenever you have an audience, your performance and basically anything gets significantly worse. So yeah, that's a thing. So I'm gonna do more of that. I'm going to work on more projects. I am going to put on, because my birthday's coming up and I'm realizing this is the only way I'm going to ever be able to justify getting one of these. So basically there's this thing where if I get money from you guys, right now I will get some food and stuff just because I'm very not doing great. And as Smallduck has said, getting food is cheaper than a trip to the hospital for mental health stuff and other things. So, yeah, my health is not great in places besides the physical as well. It's quite bad, actually. It's getting better. But yeah, this is kind of what Smalltalk has said is get that burrito. Like, you know, if you're not around, you can't pay rent. Do what you need to do to stay around. So yeah, I'm not in like immediate danger of getting kicked out because it wouldn't solve anything. She would still be on the hook for rent and everything. So and she knows that I am very. So one thing I am going to do, and I will probably put on Throne, and people don't have to feel pressured, but I'm just going to put it because birthday and people check Throne and all that kind of stuff, is probably the Elegoo carbon, the new Centauri carbon, their enclosed 3D printer. I'm going to do that right now. Why is my... Something just started... it's the fucking Firefox desktop audio stuff just started. Is the stream lagging? It's... Oh, no, it's just our internet. I mean... I guess I take that, Bien? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to refuse anything. Oh, yeah, no. So I do actually have a... Thank you, Megu. Thank you. So I do... so I'm trying not to do resin, despite that being what I was interested in and had equipment to, because I don't want to poison the entire household. We don't have a garage or anything. I would be doing it in the room adjacent to the one that I live in, where we do laundry and where the cat litter is going to be. So I don't have a safe space to do resin work. So that's why I'm kind of looking at the enclosed. And also I'm realizing that for what I would do, the design language, just a regular non-resin printer would probably work for prototyping and stuff. And jigs. It would work for jigs. I need... Jigs are so hard. Centauri carbon. Okay, that doesn't pop up. So... Yeah, jigs, I don't have any wood equipment. So for doing projects, if I'm like trying to drill parallel holes into a curved surface, it's basically impossible since I do everything by hand. I don't have power tools. I don't own a single power tool. I use pin vices and stuff. And like hand saws and everything. So, okay, I'm gonna change this to Centauri Carbon 3D printer. Yeah, so I'm basically... I cannot justify buying stuff. But I will put the 3D printer at least on I'm gonna put a 3D printer in the Instax printer. Just there. If people ever want to donate to them, they can. They're gonna be... They don't have to. Money through Streamlabs or YouTube is very, very helpful. Streamlabs is a little more immediate, but YouTube is also very good. They're both good. They're both incredibly helpful, and it's very appreciated. So I'm just putting this stuff here so that I can basically do more hobbyist work. I think would be good in the future. And then other stuff is going to be... So we're going to have more educational stuff, more hobbyist stuff, some long-form content. I'm going to be doing more game dev. We might make a game for Playdate and then work on a game in Godot. Like actual games, not just like weekend projects. So that'll be happening. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And then kind of the big things are I'm going to be focusing on rigging in my off time. Sky, I'm so sorry. As soon as I get back from off-Kai, I'm basically moving down here permanently, and then I am working on Sky's rig, getting it finished, rigging up Lily 1.5, maybe redoing some of Sky's rig after I do Lily 1.5, and then probably once I know I'm in a state where I can offer paid commission work, offering paid commission work, because rigs are expensive. And if I can get to the point where I'm churning out 1 or 2 a month, that adds up. So, and then we're going to be offering I'm going to be making donationware, because... Do you guys remember when the Mocopy thing came out? The Mocopy Live 2D VTube Studio integration? And everyone was like all super excited about it. First off, it's incredibly impractical for any Live 2D rig. You would basically have to completely rig the limbs, like with all sorts of foreshadowing stuff, and at that point just get a 3D model. The like use case of moving your limbs is so incredibly unrealistic. This week has lasted an eternity for me. So like you get a 3D model or do a partially 3D model. One thing I might do with Holly Mama is, you know, once my rig is done and Sky's rig is done and we're doing more stuff, is I might add, eventually it might be fun to get a leap motion. And if we do that, we would have arm and hand tracking as a 3D model that is designed to match my live 2D model. Is the idea. Where you just use 3D for the arms and hands. The shading on this model is simple enough, and the coloring is simple enough that we could recreate it with shaders, and Holly is very technical, like technical minded. She has no issues with any of this. We both have a friend that's like very, very 3D focused. A lot of her work. She does concept art and 3D work. Yeah. So I wish it had inverse kinematics as well. But so one thing I am doing as a plugin, and I floated this by Tom, and he was like, I don't really see the point, but go for it. And I was like, okay, I will. Is we're going to add the Mocopy style tracking. Ironically, it might work with Mocopy. I'm not going to advertise that it does, but it might. We're basically going to let you use Vive tracking, Slime VR, technically leap motion, the brainwave sensors that you hook up to VR chat, Mocopy. Okay. Anything that has VR chat integration, so that means it uses the OSC protocol, will be usable in... Slime VR is the name of an open source VR thing. Is it open source? It might not be. It's affordable full body tracking. And basically the idea is you can use any of these pieces of hardware or anything else that integrates with VR chat through OSC, and you can hook it up into VTube Studio. This isn't inherently super useful. Just putting that out just right now. But what it does mean is that, for instance, remember when furries made the brain-controlled ears and tails for VR chat? And it was this really, really cool thing. People were like, this is the future. I don't know if anybody remembered. Yeah. So they did this with like consumer thing. We can do that with VTube Studio. There's no reason why we can't let you use brain-controlled ears and tails in VTube Studio. So that's what I'm gonna do. So it's gonna be donationware, because it feels weird making this closed source. And I don't remember the last time I worked on anything closed source. Even my paid development work was open source. We were making open source APIs for like a closed... They were APIs for a closed source, but they were like public open source libraries and APIs. Just for a closed source backend. When was the last time I worked on... my first web dev job was closed source. And that's it. Everything else I've worked on has either been research or open source. Yeah. So we're gonna have that. I think it is legitimately going to be a weekend project. I think the realistic implementations of it are going to be the brainwave controlled stuff, or using the Vive or Slime trackers for, not for limb control, but for instance, for like more torso control. Because right now you kind of have to do it based on like the head and stuff. And like you can make like very animated torsos, but they don't really match what you're doing IRL. But like if you wore a tracker in your chest and your waist and maybe like your stomach, like kind of just tracking how your torso is moving, you could hook that up to the rigging. LGPL license. I don't know if I can do a more restrictive open license. If I'm using the VTube Studio stuff, I don't know. It'll be... Yeah, we can track shrimping, we can track a bunch of stuff. So it's basically just going to create more expressive tracking. I don't know. Tinfoil, my default is I just tend to do stuff under MIT license. For this, I wouldn't want people using... For this, people will be allowed to use this software commercially. I would not want commercial expansion of the plugin. Probably. Without permission. I'll look into it. It's not going to be... It wouldn't be a proper open source license. It will be a free license. Yeah, I'll ask. I just... licensing and open source and all... I'm going to be honest, some of the worst people in the hobbyist community are very adamant open source. And it's like, no, there's reasons why you do things as closed source. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to let you know. And there's reasons why you don't... Yeah, there's just reasons why you don't release the source for every project. It's so bad in the electronics hobby. People are like, why don't you open source the PCB? And it's like, as soon as you open source it, every manufacturer in China, like, related, will start ripping you off, even if you have non-commercial in it. And... people will clone it. So people are going to commercially start selling your work, and then also people expect you to play support for it. They also expect you to play support for the cloned versions. And it's like, if you don't want to do full-time support, like, sometimes you just, like, so some people, yeah. The best middle ground I've seen is you can order the PCBs and stuff through a paid lockdown service that'll just ship you the completed PCB. And you can say you can't reverse engineer this commercially. But yeah, I just, people, and half the open source people want it open source because then they want to be able to sell the product. They want to be able to assemble and sell stuff. It's just all, I don't love it. Anyway, and then we're going to, on another site, do some spicier stuff and some ASMR. That's happening because I'm in financial need. I can't waffle on that anymore. I literally cannot afford to waffle on that, basically. If it's something I'm interested in that I think could be a good source of income, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, $20 is $20. I have no moral objections to it. It's going to be a... Yeah, and so the 1.5 is being made with that in mind. So I'll need to make sure VTube Studio has 2 versions of it, and I'll need to be very, very careful about what I go live with. But yeah, we're gonna do that. Thankfully, I'm gonna be moved into the basement fully. We're going to get the door probably set up with the cat door. We have a wooden door. It's a can we even install a cat door in that physically, actually? It has slats. Can you install cat door, slat door? Also, no, wait, the slats wouldn't be good for making sure that there's no sound. We might just need to get a door. We might just need to get a dedicated door. Yeah, everyone is basically for that kind of like the slat style door, the louver door, whatever. Everyone is basically universally, no, you just get a temporary door with the cat door. Just get a cheap door. We'll find out how much that is. That's a good investment. Because then I can close the door and have privacy, even just normally while living down here. And I'm gonna want that. Like, realistically, I will want that. So, yeah. So, that's gonna happen. Nobody I've talked to has ever given me a good reason not to beyond. There is some safety stuff. I did get some good advice with, like, the safety stuff and stuff. That's a reason not to do it. But otherwise, like, people I would expect to be objecting to it are like, oh no, just go get that bag. You're not showing your real face? Yeah, go for it. And it's like, okay. Yeah, it is my choice. It's just, it's one of those things that I expected to hear a lot more objections from. Even family is like, oh yeah, go for it. So anyway, will I stop almost doxing us? No. 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 Anyway. It's okay, your boyfriend will keep us safe. Smell Dog's very large boyfriend. The Small Dog will keep us safe. How large are we talking? Large man? Yeah, he's not that big. He's large enough to be... He's like 6 foot tall. He's 6 foot tall and not like a skinny ass person. Like, he's like 6 foot tall and substantial. So, if he opened the door angry, you would usually back off. Type of person. He's not usually very angry. He's very chill. I really like him. Chovek, in a lot of the world, 6 feet is considered tall, yes. Please remember that for a woman, average height is about Small Dog, who's about 5'3". No. No, you lived in the freakishly tall Bulgarian mountain town. No, average US man's like 5'9", yeah. Yeah, 5'9's the average. It's always been 5'9". I know this because pre-transition, I was always slightly below average, so. And then there was one other thing. Oh yeah. I might do a subathon? I don't know. Is the subathon the kind of thing that you do? I guess it's the kind of thing that you do when you're in bad money situations and you're a streamer. I've never done one. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, I was thinking for my birthday, I do a birthday subathon. But I don't know if I know anyone who's done one. Has Barry or KK or Huni ever done a subathon? I mean, it would be more a domathon, subathon. Huni did one? Okay. I might ask her for advice. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I could reach out to, I don't know. I could reach out to people that I've Yeah, it's reaching out to people is scary. It's rare for me. I mean, I make friends, but like, it's not. I'm very socially anxious and very autistic. And I made some good. I really enjoyed the FF11 stuff. I think I made some friends from that. But like people that I actually DM and am in frequent contact with, like I don't even keep in contact with Drop. This is one of my oldest VTuber friends. It's like people that I'm actively DMing with is Mimi, Barry, KK, Tummy, and Sayonara. Sayonara? I don't actually know how they pronounce their name. And you guys don't know Cyan? They're around. They pop in my chat a lot. And we've been meaning to play games together. It's just things have gone so out of shit. Oh, they're in the Barry community. Neat. They're very nice. They're always in my DMs, like checking in on me, making sure everything's okay. We've been meaning to play a game, but that's fallen by the wayside. But like they've been... Yeah, I'm very bad about keeping up with DMs. I try and do it. But yeah, so eventually there will probably be a collab with Cyan once we both but yeah, they're a wisp. They're a wisp is how I know them. They reached out like, hey, would you be okay like trying to play a game offline and seeing like if it goes well, maybe we could collab or something. I was like, yeah. Like, yeah, I know of you. I know, and like that's like a good way to do, because I've had some mixed collab experiences. On no fault of the other person, just like we should have played games beforehand. It should have figured out more stuff. It's frustrating about things I've messed up in the past, but anyway, yeah. She's very sweet. I've been meaning to collab with Takaso for so long. Fuck. Anyway, I do not hate Takazo at all. I think Sayonara uses she. Just want to be careful because I'm 99% yeah, she. Okay, cool. I have messed that up recently and I feel really bad about it with other people. Barry's hatred of men. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so let's see. To summarize, we're gonna get shorts. I'm sorry if you don't like them. They're good for outgrow. I'm gonna push to 1K. Spicy stuff on another site in the future. More rigging, more hobbyist educational stuff. And maybe a subathon. And I'm in a really bad situation. But birthday subathon is not a bad idea. I've been wondering what to do for my birthday, but that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I can figure that out. Oh, also, I'll probably start making checkies and shit. They won't be deco checkies. I'm not that talented. I'm sorry. They would not be deco checkies. They may just have a signature or something. And I will do those. So I'm going to be doing some experimenting with Seymour and Taro when we, before Off-Kai, with some Game Boy printer stuff and Instax printer stuff. Basically, the idea is see if we can use a Game Boy camera photo, print that, because it does fun stuff with the pixels if you use the actual printer. See if we can use a macro camera to get a good, good shot. Macro camera, ideally a scanner, but yeah. And then see if we can transfer that into an Instax and just see how it turns out. I might need a scanner. Can you get good budget scanners? Alright, and then I'll just add the... Okay. Oh, I could just go to a library? That could work. Yeah. Let's see, there is one. Let's see. I mean, it would ideally I would have one at home, especially if I ever wanted to make spicy checkies. Spicy checkies. I mean, that wouldn't be for a little while. That would be if the other stuff takes off. Scanning is... Okay, the nearby library does have scanning services. Yeah, that's not terrible. And Small Dog, you said that there's one nearby. Oh, that's a tiny little guy. Oh yeah, I was in the hospital. It might be gallstones. It's something gallbladder related. We're not sure. I'll probably need that removed in the future. It was excruciating. It's the worst pain I've ever been in my life. Hopefully it works out fine. Yeah, I was incoherent from pain. Yeah, I have tonsil stones, kidney stones, and gallstones, and it sucks, and I will need at least 2 of those removed. I can probably keep my right kidney. I feel like I will probably keep my right kidney, but the rest of them I will probably need removed. Okay. Okay. So I am... Okay. Thank you, JP Hut. Alright, I could do the Game Boy Checkies realistically if I get a printer. I'll add that on the throne. Right now, I don't want to add any toys. I mean, I do want to add toys, but I'm not adding any toys. Let's see. Right now, it is crowdfunding for a thing for ASMR that I might just need to order myself. It's basically a windjammer. It's useful for a lot of things with it. The 3D printer, which if I use, I'll be using it for a lot of streams, and I'll probably make the squids and maybe the PCB when I make those designs. I'm gonna work on that. I'll make like little guys and other weird things. Everything it'll be printed and then hand finished, because I don't like how raw 3D prints look from non-resin. So it'll be a lot of hand finishing. And maybe some painting and stuff, depending. So they'll have a lot of effort and love put into them, I think. But yeah, 3D printer is just... like, 300's a lot, but it's also one of those things that will very quickly pay for itself for just shit around the house. Or things that I need, like, it would save so much in hardware. Store trips. Even just having little stands and brackets and little things for... it would be so useful. Like, if we had one, we could have printed, like, the little steps for the automatic litter box and stuff. Oh, well. Alright, so put the stuff on throne. That'll be there for... eventually, for birthday stuff. Okay, and then we will figure out subathon stuff, and then that's... You played me full volume, oh no, Moon! Hi, Moon! Hi, Moon's work! Hello, Moon's coworkers. Alright, okay, alright. Yeah, I'll ask the... Let's see, where's the DM? Also, hello, Miss Bug. I was wondering... Know anyone with subathon? Donathon experience? Okay. Alright. I have DM'd Barry about asking about the subathon. Oh no, I don't think she's ever done one, but Miss Saiba. Okay. I DM'd her in KK. I've been wondering what to do for my birthday, so that'll work. Hi, what do you mean you guys already bought the Instax printer? Excuse me? Thank you, Seymour. Thank you, thank you. And so... Actually, I have a question. Does Instax make monochrome film? Yes. Is it any cheaper than regular Instax film? $20 sheets. It is substantially cheaper. No, I looked up the prices. At least from what I'm seeing, it's for 20 sheets, it's like $10 cheaper. That's fun. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, I think. I feel like for, yeah, that seems... That seems good. Okay. Yep, you guys are gonna get checkies. Once the 1.5 is finished, you guys are gonna get checkies. Just because it's different enough that I'm gonna want to use the new model. And I think the goal is I get home, I get moved down here, I finish Sky's rig, and then hopefully 1.5 is end of July. I'm not gonna do like a big... I don't have anything else cooking for it. It's basically just... It is the same model, just with more toggles. More toggles and updated eyes and stuff. It's a little bit more robot-y. And maybe a different head scarf thing. And the rigging will be different as well, because it'll be my rigging instead of Holly's rigging. But I'm not going to use it until my rigging is on par with Holly's rigging. So it might take longer, is the problem. So, you know, because I don't want to debut with a worse model when it's improved art. Does that make sense? But I mean, there are going to be new things, like the tail is going to have all sorts of stuff. There's going to be more expressions, like eye expression stuff. The ahoge is going to be, I mean, but it's going to be tracked. I'll be to use brainwaves to control it, which I think will be funny. Maybe for that and like ears. I might add something to the rig earring, maybe to brows or something. I think brows would work good for the ahoge, for the ears. Now I can link the ears to the brainwave. Yeah, so that would be... That'll be what I do. It should be... And then I'll be able to stream on the other site too, which will be... interesting? We'll see how that goes. I have thankfully talked to one of the biggest, one of the biggest R18 VTubers about it. So I've gotten a lot of very, very, very good advice. So, so it should be fine. I'm a little worried about the ASMR part, but we're gonna learn as we go along. And maybe I'll release some ASMR on this channel as well. If I can make sure to do... Yeah. Do you like Barry? Scripts are hard. Even she had a lot of trouble doing scripts. She had so much trouble doing scripts. Yeah. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll do stuff. I can figure out script. It'll be... I think once I start doing the shorts and stuff, that'll be help me writing scripts. Barry was... I was privy to Barry live posting her making her ASMR. I will not share any of the details. But... yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's... I love Bug. Yeah, ASMR is just not something she does, so... Oh, she talked about it a bit on stream. Awesome, okay. Yeah, she had to fucking restart because she said dog at the end of a line. Because this is Barry we're talking about. Okay, have I... Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to talk about? We'll finish Metal Gear eventually. When I get back, probably. I'm not gonna marathon this stream, the games. I am not as obsessed with the... I will probably get the brain mod eventually. But... I definitely do want to play. I want to play through them. Getting a Vita for Acid, though, is like a... I don't have to play Acid, but I want to. Yeah, we can figure out how to play Acid. I can't believe, but yeah, and I'm gonna figure out, yeah, just as my health gets better, and as I get more into the swing of it, and focusing on this, I'm gonna try and ramp up, not to daily streaming, because, but at least 5 streams a week, I think will be good. I kind of have the Pokemon thing, I don't know, Pokemon's such a hard game to stream. I'm trying to like figure out what is fun for me to stream that I think goes well. And it's usually like more action-y stuff. I'll find my niche. It's gonna be a lot of shmups in arcade games, you guys. It's gonna be so many fucking shmups. It's just gonna be so many shmups. I'm sorry if you want something else. It's gonna be a lot of them. It's probably gonna be shmups and like some Mega Man style platformers and stuff. No, probably no RPGs. Maybe Dragon Guard 3. Maybe Dragon Guard 3 just because of how especially insane that game is. I mean, I do want to play Dragon Quest 4. I don't know. Just anything with grinding is... There are really good streamers for that kind of stuff, and I'm just not that... I'm not that talented. Like, I have to say, the Pomu Pokemon streams are some of my favorite Pokemon streams ever. And yet... Tinfo, I'm sorry, I would probably not be playing Dragon Guard on original hardware. Because... I can play it 60 frames per second on non-original hardware. So, Dragon Quest. Okay, I might try what 3 or 4 on the Game Boy. No, her Pokemon streams were great. And I think once I get out of the fucking Gen 3 mines, I just think Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Emerald are like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald are just uniquely bad games to stream. Like... I could do Shock Lock. I could do Shock Locks. Yeah, Platinum's a little faster, right? Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Platinum are a little faster than Base Diamond and Pearl, right? Right? Please tell me they are. I played Hotline Miami before. I love Sun and Moon. I know they have haters, but I love them. I think the thing about Pokemon is I really... I need to be working on this panel. But I think the thing about Pokemon is they're... I don't know. I feel like Gen 3 is just not... So the problem is I can get really, really excited about Pokemon. I can read the manga. I can get into a mood. I could be watching the anime. I could be really, really hyped to stream Pokemon. And then I turn on Leaf Green and it's all this fucking endless grinding. And it's like, okay, it kills all the excitement for the stream. So I'm kind of trying to think about what do I want to do. I could skip Gen 3. I could just skip it. We could play Coliseum XD and then just jump to the DS games. Yeah. How the fuck haven't I done that? Yeah, I was playing through all of them without the Mew, but I was originally going to do all the ribbons on the Mew, but I think I just want to get her to modern day. I don't think I care that much about all the ribbons. It was fun completionist thing as a kid, but like, realistically, I'm not playing Diamond and Pearl. I'm skipping Diamond and Pearl. I'm just playing Plat. Okay, I could move up. Yeah, I don't want to do ROM hacks. I feel like there's so many of them as I could just... Yeah, let me get that 3DS capture modded. I think that's probably going to be the way to play them. Yeah, and then we'll do Oris and let's go. Yeah, that sounds good. That's good. I'm happy with that, actually. I'm less bummed about the Pokemon problem. When I get back, I need to do a lot of soldering. Fuck me. Yeah. Sorry, there's just some stuff that just popped up and I'm like, huh. Okay, well... Okay. I guess, panel time. I need to do all this stuff on Woda and everything, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. That's not my... honestly, I could write it... I might be doing some stuff Tuesday, Wednesday night, maybe? On Seymour's couch. I'll probably be doing some stuff on Seymour's couch, I think. I think realistically. But let's get the stuff done now that I know I can get done now. Can you get the Woda? Yeah, I mean, Nani was saying he could help. I might ask Ashes. I don't know. Things have been so fucked, and I've been in so much pain. I'm still in a lot of pain. Did I take that ibuprofen? I brought it down. Did I ever take it? I don't think I did. Huh. It's 800 milligrams, so it's like I should really be careful not to take too much of it, because it is 4 to 8 times the strength of normal ibuprofen. Yeah, this is like the less strong pain med. This is what they gave me for like the normal pain. And then I have stuff for the stronger stuff and then stuff for a nausea. Okay. Yeah, no, my brain is just... It's been exhausting. I'm tired. You guys, I'm so tired. Why can't this be a week later? File, make a copy. Okay, make a copy, applying the theme. Layout. Decorative. Okay, there's a bunch of different ones. Okay, we're gonna use that color because I like that color. Okay. Okay, we're gonna add... Okay. Oh god, I'm starting to feel a lot of pain. Did I just take the pill? I don't know if I took the pill or not. did I like do a gulping thing? Help. Help. Okay. I'm going to take the pill. Here's me. That was me taking out the pill. Here's me taking the pill. Okay, no, I haven't taken that recently. It's a big fucking pill. Horse pill, ass pill. Okay. That's fine. That is fine. Okay. No, so these are just the pain pills, and because some of them are 8 hours, some of them are 5 hours, some of them are like, it's just like, I'm not used to taking so many pain pills. That's just not something I usually do. Okay, let me make sure. Okay. Okay. So I'll do blah, blah, blah later. Okay. All right. Let's look up. Okay, let us get all the original stuff. Actually, what if we place this? So then... I'll do all the how do we get here stuff later. How did we get here? Okay. And okay. Bien! I'm excited. Let me know when you do. If I want this layout to be introductions, gradient. I'll ask her how she wants to do stuff later. The fuck. I have to have a good thumbnail that I can use for this. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, fuck me. Sorry. I'm just very much not. I need to work on this stuff, and I'm like, I'm having a rough time of it. I almost feel like there might not be much co-working on this stream, and I'm just gonna have to come down here in a bit and just do it on my own. I'm just... Oh god. Oh god. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, no, I'm just in pain. It is hard to work because I'm hurting. Yeah, I mean, the painkiller will work, but even then, just the, oh god. So I'm gonna finish today. There's no way I allow myself not to finish today. But I'm just like, I'm very much not doing great. Okay, image, crop, file, export as. Oh, God. Just trying to think of each of the individual, the flow of the presentation right now. So there's this one. So I'll probably have this. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna put how did we get here? So that is panel. And then I'll do a, how did we get here? For that one, I'm going to want the aquarium picture. Delete. Okay. How did we get here? Alright, and now trying to find the picture from the aquarium. Let's see. Twitter. Where is the wedding invite? Let's see. It shouldn't be that far back. Okay, cool. Found it. Okay, so that'll talk about the original idea. And then we'll add some yeah, okay. We're gonna add a new layout. General info. Okay, so we're gonna have that. How do we get here? All right. So this is where we're gonna put, that'll be water slides. And we're gonna put a video of one of them and then the rest, and then a, okay. We're going to add so we're gonna add separation. Let's see, how do we do this? Separation. Alignment. And cohesion. Cohesion, and then I'll do one about the neighbors. Okay, so let's see, let's put about 10 minutes for that part. And then we're gonna do this, and then so that's expand. No, I'm not gonna do the formal white paper. I think I'm just gonna do the presentation. I was planning on it, but then all the pain and stuff happened, and I was like, nope. I do not have time for that. Neighbors. We use, boson, I think. Yeah. Okay, we can use slide. Finally, not in the talk about. Okay, so this is going to be going over the modified board algorithm that we're using. Circling vortex paper. Taurus behavior. So then we can add that. This is gonna be a long presentation. I mean, the slides are going to be short, each potential slides, but I'm gonna have a lot of slides. I am one of those people that likes putting a lot of short slides instead of one really long slide. So, in this way, like, I don't know, I just feel like I have good control of the tempo of the presentation. So, and then we're gonna do a slide. Video showing. Cool. Circling. Yeah, so this presentation is going to be... The iffier part is going to be all the WOTA stuff, but I'm gonna work on that with... last minute, probably. It's gonna depend, I think, on the length of the rest of the presentation. Too. Like, how much time do I give to the background? Like, how much time do I give to the WOTA part of it? Do I give to explaining the Hamtaro circle? Well, I could give an entire presentation on the Hamtaro circle, if you let me, in an hour. But, like, part of it is... But that's not... The main work is adapting that, so... Let's see, so we have... Okay. So... And then we're going to add... We're going to do circling. We're going to do a crowd. And then we're going to have crowd. Okay. Okay, alright, so we're going to video showing tourist behavior. Lifelike. Okay. Yeah, so then we add a... Yeah, so like, I think the nerd shit is the interesting part to me. So I'm gonna make the nerd shit very... I mean, I'm not gonna get deep into the math, but I'm gonna go over the behaviors. I feel like if you're going to the panel, you are going to be prepared for nerd shit by the name of the panel. Not flight life. Yeah. Yeah. Organic looking circle. And then we're going to put video of the wonky circle. Crowd. Let's see, the crowd's gonna have multiple parts, so we need... Okay. So crowd. Basic spawning and threshold. Crowd avoidance. And we're gonna do this. So the first part of the crowd does not partake in circle. Okay, so they don't partake in the circle, that's fine. Video of crowd. Now we want a crowd avoiding the circle. Okay, now we can delete that. I might want to add extra slides. Avoids the circle itself. Potential to get stuck. And then New slide. Unrealistic. Some would get stuck. And video of some getting stuck. Okay. Cool. Okay, and then we want the video of crowd. Crowd avoiding other. Permission. And then we're gonna add 2 active. And then crowd and just okay, and then we'll just do another video showing separation. Okay. And then finally, we're going to add joining in. Joining in. Video, and then I want to add the expanding circle based on and then we video the circle expanding. Yeah. So, pseudocode. I don't know if I want to add pseudocode to all of this. Yeah, I'm not going to add pseudocode, I think, to all of them. I feel like if you can... I'll add the pseudocode to the final algorithm, and then final result. Video of final result. Yeah. So then we're going to do the pseudocode. And then video of the final result. A circle based on the number of voids. And then questions. Limitations. Yeah. Trying to think of limitations of the model. I'll think of that at the end. And then we're going to add references. And then we're going to add questions. Cool. So the void part of the presentation is going to be 117 through 23? No. 27. It's gonna be 27 slides. For short slides, I think that's fine. The whole thing is an hour long. And literally some of the slides are going to be 10, 20 seconds. So I think that's going to work fine. And then I just add a bit of the background. And then like just the introduction slides. And then I think we're good. That, to me... I mean, I'm pretty... I like doing super short. I mean, a lot of these slides are going to be very short, is kind of the thing. And they might be like the equivalent of 1 or 2 sentences. Like, they're basically just... Each slide is going to be... Like, if I was timestamping. If I was timestamping someone, each slide would be a different timestamp. Is how I'm treating it. Am I comfortable switching that fast? Yeah. Yep. Okay, and I'll ask RTX John what he wants to do for intro and all of that. We can do... Yeah, that works fine. The introduction stuff, well, I'll figure out. That's later. I'll ask what people are. But the actual... Okay, yeah, this seems good. Yeah. Hi, Halo. Big summary of stream. I was in hospital. I have gallbladder stuff. Who knows? I'm uninsured and behind on rent, so I'm going to be doing a lot more focus on this, streaming spicy stuff elsewhere, and more focus on rigging. There might be a birthday subathon. I think that's the cliff notes. Also in the future, I'll be selling checkies. When I start doing stuff on the other channel, I'll announce it. Other stuff will happen with 1.5, which is going to happen after I finish another rig. So that'll be late July, early August, probably. Realistically. Yeah, I'm not sure how separated I do account stuff. I literally might just point a joint schedule. Because it'll mostly be game names. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm planning on doing a few just normal streams too. Checkies. Checky pricing is going to depend on the price of film. And they're not going to be deco checkies. So yeah, I'm not sure what the price of a undecorated signed checkie should be. I have no idea. I'll ask. Hi, Grib. I've been wondering where you were. Yeah, however much people are willing to pay is the real answer, but they're not going to be super expensive. They're not going to be super expensive, I think. Yeah, hi, Grib. Hi. It could be pay what you want, and then I can set a minimum. Minimum will cover the materials. And people can pay whatever. I think is going to be the way to do it. Great, what was that? Yeah. Do you want me to head upstairs? I can. Yeah, that was just her scraping her face against the mic. Because the mic is very much in cat range. Okay. Well, I talked about a lot of stuff. It's been a rough few days. The outline of the PowerPoint looks fine. I'll need to write down a lot of the code specifics today and get all the video. That's stuff I can't do while away. So I'll come back down here after I'm a little more rested, but I think that's okay. I'm not stressed about this anymore. None of this is going to be very, very complicated. Summarizing the pseudocode might be a little tricky, but it shouldn't be that bad. Okay, and then I'll do the lotus. Okay, this isn't terrible. I'm pretty happy with that. And then I can open up Godot and just add the code. Let's see, there's a way to add code to Discord, I think. Code in Discord. Triple backticks, got it. Where the fuck is the backtick? There it is. Research. Yeah, that whole thing sucks. All right, I'm just gonna paste the code, I think is good. And then I can just open up the text file somewhere. No, that's not what I want. Delete that. Cool. All right, all of that's there in Discord, so I can just access it. I like that. Yeah, no, it was very surprising that Grib did not pee. She's not been happy lately. She's been very upset and concerned. The problem is I'm in pain so often now, or like mental anguish, that her baseline's probably all wonky. Yeah. But things will be fine. I have goals and plans, and yeah. Yep, and friends, and things will be good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm fading a little. I might go lay down. Might go eat. Yeah, I'm gonna go rest a little and then I'll finish this. I have the Adderall, so it's not like I'm sleeping anytime soon. Yeah, we're gonna go up, okay? Alright, well, I'll post like just a quick summary of stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. See you. Bye bye.